All right, so today we're diving into a case that I think really gets under people's skin.
It's one of those cases, right? You hear the name and you just, I don't know, you get chills.
Yeah, the Chicago Tylenol murders, 1982. Just saying it out loud takes you back.
It's funny, we think about all the true crime out there, all the wild stories, but this one hit different.
Because it felt so close to home, like something we all took for granted, suddenly dangerous.
Exactly. Tylenol. I mean, who didn't have that in their medicine cabinet?
And that's what makes it so scary, right? The idea that something so ordinary could be used as a weapon.
Totally. And it wasn't just, a one-off thing either. This was calculated. 7 people dead.
7 people, all from poison Tylenol capsules.
It's awful. And to think, this was before tamper-proof seals, before all those security measures we have now.
So let's rewind a bit for our listeners. It's 1982, Chicago, fall time. What starts happening that raises the alarm bells?
So people start getting sick, really sick, very suddenly. And I mean, deathly ill. They'd taken Tylenol, extra strength, and that was it.
And the connection.
It took a minute, tragically, but they realized all the victims had taken these Tylenol capsules. Same brand, same type.
And what were the authorities finding when they looked at these capsules?
Potassium cyanide, straight up.
Yeah.
Deadly stuff. Enough in each capsule to kill someone almost instantly.
And this wasn't just like a bad batch from the factory.
That's what's really chilling. The poison was added later. Someone was tampering with these bottles after they'd left the factory.
So we're talking someone going around to stores, opening these bottles, adding poison.
It's scary to think about, but yeah, they think it might have even happened across multiple locations.
Which makes it even harder to track, right?
Absolutely. No cameras back then like we have now. No way to really trace who was buying what, where.
So it's chaos. People are terrified, right? I mean, this is a major city, and suddenly something as simple as a headache could be a death sentence.
And it wasn't just Chicago. This thing blew up nationally. People were checking their medicine cabinets to throwing out Tylenol. It was mass panic.
Do you imagine being Johnson & Johnson at that time? The company that makes Tylenol. Talk about a PR nightmare.
It's the kind of crisis that could destroy a company. But, to their credit, they stepped up.
Yeah. How so?
They issued a nationwide recall of Tylenol. All of it. 31 million bottles off the shelves.
31 million. That's
unheard of, right? And think about the cost. Over $100 million, just like that.
But they did it.
They did. They put public safety first, even though it cost them a fortune.
Which is huge, right? It set a new standard for how companies respond in these situations.
Absolutely. It really changed the game in terms of corporate responsibility.
And then there's the impact on, us, the consumers. This case is the reason we have tamper-proof seals today.
Exactly. That little piece of plastic, that seal we break, it's all because of what happened in Chicago.
A good thing, obviously, but born from a tragedy. So the company does its part, but what about the investigation? Did they catch whoever did this?
This is where it gets even more frustrating, even all these years later. Despite a massive investigation, the person behind the poisonings was never caught.
Never? How is that possible?
They had leads, of course, suspects, but nothing concrete. The trail just went cold.
There must have been some theories, right? Someone must have had a motive.
There was one guy, James W. Lewis, who sent a letter to Johnson & Johnson demanding $1 million to stop the killings.
$1 million? So like a straight-up extortion attempt.
Exactly. And get this, he even admitted to knowing how the cyanide was put into the capsules.
So case closed, right?
Not so fast. While they did convict him, it was only for extortion, not for the actual murders. They couldn't link him directly to the poisonings themselves.
So frustrating. All those lives lost, and the person responsible was never brought to justice.
It's a tough one to swallow. It makes you wonder, was it random? Was it someone with a grudge against the company? We still don't know for sure.
And that's what makes this case so haunting. The mystery lingers, the not knowing. It's a reminder that some cases, even with all our technology and resources, might never be fully solved.
And it makes you think, what if it happened today? With all the surveillance we have, would we catch them? Or would it play out the same way?
That's a chilling thought, and a reminder that even in a world that feels increasingly knowable, there are still dark corners, unsolved mysteries.
Absolutely. The Chicago Tylenol murders aren't just about what happened in 1982. They're about the fragility of safety, the fear of the unknown, and the unsettling possibility that some things might stay hidden forever.
It's a lot to unpack, for sure, and I think it's a good reminder for all of us to be aware, to be vigilant, and to never take our safety for granted, even with the most everyday things.
Couldn't agree more.